Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Advanced Wars by Web replay. Spawn on the south side as the Jade Son Drake, blah. We got a foreign name. I can't read that. I have no idea how to read it. Spawn on top side as the Azure Asteroid Andy, we got GreyyFoxx, which doesn't seem right. There we go. Spawn is the Gray Sky Andy, we got GreyyFoxx. Much better. Nope, the color scheme's a little different enough. Either way, let's go ahead and get started. This map is of course, fog of war map. Got triple bases, harbor here, probably primarily meant for a lander, if you can stomach it. Both players do have an airport here, behind a pipe scene, so could bust that open to get faster airport or fast deployment time of aircraft by half a turn. Both players do also have HQ somewhat in the middle, not really in the middle, off the side, with a 1 HP cruiser on top, just help prevent, say, Sammy captures like that. Also provides a decent amount of vision around it. Cruisers do have 3 spotting range, similar to a tank. Now got double recon deployed by Drake. His vehicles are completely and utterly ordinary. Same with Andy's. Andy's hyper repair could counter Drake's power and or superpower, Typhoon or Tsunami. Of course, doesn't stop the fuel drain, but at least it can stop the health. Additionally, Andy's superpower does provide 10% extra firepower and plus 1 movement for all units, including foot soldiers. So Andy does have some utility. His hyper repair is a bit more possibility against COs with global damage. So we have to see, and plus it could also repair up this cruiser. Battlecopter infantry. So we've got the first battlecopter in the field. This Andy knows what an airport is. Got a couple of recons here, pushing aggressively forward, working together. Of course, this tank's out of vision range, but maybe not for much longer. He does spot 1 recon there, so he could try to play around the vision. Does spot both recons out, could try to play around the vision. Slightly push the tank forward, so he can able to get a good retaliation strike. Drake does have 2 tanks, recon and artillery piece back here, so we've got triple recon by Drake. Andy has gone for his own recon, a good number of tanks, and of course the battlecopters. So overall, Andy has more capability to punch his opponent in the face. But Drake does have a lot of good harassment forces to stop the infantry. Tank, infantry. Does get a good strike onto the recon. And Andy has actually deployed out an APC, which may be a good idea for Drake since he is, of course, can cause a fuel drain, but maybe a little bit too early for that. Infantry are advancing. There's also a pair of comm towers in the map, as well as a lab. Lab is pretty much pointless. Comm towers not so much, which Andy did get interrupted. He could try a bit of a joint capture there. But with recon and tank nearby, the good chance that it will just be focused down next turn. But the battlecopter does get a good strike on the recon, so maybe he can completely interrupt the capture, completely stop it. We've got this tank here and this tank here. 1, 2, 3. Oh, let's just heads up north, not trying to gauge that. In theory, if he gets 5 points of damage, the recon maybe get another point of damage to prevent the capture of the comm tower even further. There's now +1 comm tower for Drake. Now we've got a battlecopter for Drake. Does have 30% less firepower on the air units, so it's a little bit of a problem there, but nothing too significant. tank, anti-air, or artillery, another tank. Drake now has 19,000. Andy has 20,000 income. Good first strike there on that tank. Does use artillery piece there. Good knockout. Does knock out that tank there. Just interrupt there. Andy now has his hyper repair. At this point in time, hyper repair could top off his health tank on this right there to 6 health, which may be not really a good idea. You can charge for this tank here and get it repaired up afterwards. Right now, Drake has a lot of tanks in the middle of the map. Anti-air and tank. Trying to catch some more properties. Battlecopter gets a good strike there. Pops the hyper repair. That's sort of interesting. Does get a nice counter strike there, wiping out that unit. Also gets the passive +10/+10. Get some good damage there, try and capture some of these properties. Got now 3 tanks by Drake. He could pop his tsunami to get some global damage, and Andy won't be able to repair that up. There could be a case made for the tsunami this turn. Gets a good damage on his various infantry units. Gets a good strike there. Takes out that tank entirely. Couple more tanks and artillery piece. And he does start the turn with 2200, but probably will not be going for a Neo Tank or Bomber this turn. There'll be a lot of base skips. Unless it gets a merge going, but probably not. Good strikes there. Tsunami or Typhoon could be deployed out next turn, possibly. Depending on how much damage Andy takes this turn, he could perhaps get into hyper repair to follow up. May pop the Tsunami or Typhoon. He does not. Wait a turn, looks like. Anti-air. Oh, pops at the end of the turn. Could have got it a little bit better, but does pop at the end of the turn. Andy course could try to get a little power charge going to get the hyper repair going. Probably a good idea. Looks like we'll not be able to squeeze out hyper repair this turn. Right now, Drake has quite a bit of forces down here. Good strike from the artillery piece. Takes out that battlecopter. Hyper repair is now available. He may just need to pop it the next turn. The Vlog units are taking a decent amount of damage now. And getting fully wiped out instead. That tank does not go down. Wait a second. Should this cruiser be at 3 health? He popped the hyper repair before. As these cruisers can't be affected by Andy's repair? I don't think Drake got... No, it was his superpower that put it back down to 1 health. I'm an idiot. While squeezing out some extra damage and power charge before popping his power. Does not pop his power, so maybe just trying to save a superpower. Boss stuff getting pretty wounded, and 1 health units can become 6 health units. And he's probably going to try to squeeze out a hyper upgrade this turn. Got a medium tank on the field as well. Andy will start the turn with 102. Greg ends the turn with 134. So Andy's about a turn behind. Turn and a half. Does manage to pop the superpower there. Goes from 102 to 123. A lot of things got repaired up quite nicely. Like the cruise on top of his HQ. Now all of his units also have +1 movement range and +10% additional firepower. As well as plus the additional power, +10% power from the super power and or superpower. So it does have a small power boost, small movement boost, and of course, good repair boost. Good damage there. Takes out that infantry unit there. Battle Cup gets a good strike. A lot of good first strikes on those tanks there. Strike doesn't have a medium tank in the field. Mace pop a tsunami or typhoon next turn. Another APC. This other one still is, well, of course now with full health, but still alive. I don't think another APC is useful. I guess he's just concerned about the fuel drain. Pops a superpower there. So Andy probably took about 30,000 damage there. Of course, taking a good amount of damage now. Just wait till the next turn and see how much health or how he has left in the field. Another medium tank applied by Drake. Infantry. Drake ends the turn with 110. Andy will start the turn with 98. So it's back down to turn with Andy slightly falling behind. Of course, he doesn't deal with rain this turn. Oh wait, no, that's still the same APC there. I'm out of it. 2 more tanks and infantry unit. Decent strike there. Medium tank push right forward. Anti-air. Another anti-air there and infantry. Andy hasn't been building too many battle copters. Has 2 in the field. 1 which is low on fuel. Medium tank push right forward. Looks like Drake did keep a little bit of a bank there. I think that's 132 versus Andy's starting 117 with 20,000 banks. So it's back down to day, as I mentioned beforehand. Small strike there. Good strike there. Takes out that infantry unit there. That property still despicable neutral. There's actually a good number of properties still despicably neutral. Both players have 23,000 income. A lot of anti-tanks charging way forward. They all have a decent amount of health, damage onto them, and low on fuel. Tank infantry has nothing really stopped the medium tanks at the moment. Drake has a good number of tanks on the field as well. Now that medium tank is in range artillery piece, but does take a 40 knocks out there. I thought it was going to leave at least 1 health remaining. And he now has his hyper repair that may be necessary. There's a lot of Drake takes in the middle of the map, including a couple mediums. And of course, Drake has now pulled out a full Neo tank. Andy does start this turn 27,000. A lot of things could be useful. Maybe he's going for a bomber. There's some of these outlying infantry units off. There's strike there. Could see hyper repair by the end of turn. Let's see what deploys on the field. Bomber. Infantry, infantry, infantry. Takes out the battlecopter there. Hyper upgrades almost available. And a lot of things just being outright finished off. Hyper repair is now available. Recon, battlecopter, infantry. And he has now ends starts turn 99 with 25,000 in the bank. Drake ends turn for 133 with 6,000 in the bank. So Drake is pulling pretty far ahead. And he may save up his superpower for when a typhoon pops. Goes for a Neo Tank now. Going back some units. Can't really make use of the +1 movement range nor the healing at the moment. Pulls back from this flank. Not too much infantry here to capture the properties. May need to go for a T-Copper or an APC at the current rate. Does go for an APC now. And of course gets a recon and battlecopter. Hyper upgrade still available, but I don't think it'll be popped this turn. It's about everything pulling back. And he's starting to stabilize. Drake has a good amount of units on the field, but just hasn't been aggressive. He is about 1 day ahead right now. Both players just repositioning. Got more recon, tank, battlecopter, infantry. Typhoon's almost available. Antivirus may wait for that to be popped before it pops hyper upgrade. Medium tank and more infantry. Both sides are just not being aggressive anymore. Another Neo Tank put up by Andy. And looks like Drake is trying to capture multiple properties, 4 properties. This will force a response. We're probably going to see a big conflict next turn. Neo Tank. Let's see right now. He does spot 2 neutral properties being captured. This one is out of vision range. And of course, he sees his own property being captured there. You can't let that happen. Stops that captured. Tsunami is now available for Typhoon. Tanks heading up north, trying to rotate around. Bomber as well. APC nearby. We're going to see a big, massive conflict, and here comes Tsunami. Here comes Tsunami. And he's end of the turn 200,000, so this is probably like 40,000 damage. Drake has a 217. Both players just stockpile quite a bit. A lot of Drake does not have vision up here, so I wonder how this is going to go. He has good vision in the area now. There's strikes there. Pushing pretty far forward. Doesn't see the double. Only sees one Neo tank. Hasn't seen the bomber yet, has he? This, I have no idea how that's going to go. He's making great headway there. Still has not seen the bomber. But this is quite a massive force. And here comes a hyper upgrade. Look at the value that's got 238 versus 133 starting. Let's see how this goes. Goes up to 160. Secondary Neo tank pops on up. No vision on this Neo tank. Takes out that one unit there. Breaks through there. Gets a strike on that anti-air. Neo tank is good strike there on the medium tank. Take out some of these outlying units. Trying to flip a property now. Finish off that tank there. Got trapped. Let's see, end of the turn of 185. Drake started turn with 176, so he did even out, but he's still ahead by a little bit, but it's back down day to day. And he does have an anti-air in range of the bomber, barring the pathing, of course. He's about to fight 10% additional defense and a bit more retaliation damage. And overall, Andy does have still 2 Neo tanks here, which Drake doesn't have anything to really stop these Neo tanks. He can stop the bomber, but not the Neo tanks. And of course, a wounded medium tank to support out as well. Good strike there. Bomber does get shot down. Neo tank on Neo tank. He could try. Nope, he does not have any power charge from this, so he can't pop a hyper repair to top off some of these units. Neo can get a good first strike there on the Neo tank. Neo tank, infantry. And he starts the turn 25,000. Has 123. So Drake still has a decent lead at the moment. Does not take out the cruiser. Takes out the cruiser. Battlecopter hits Battlecopter. Neo tank strikes the Neo tank. Got now another tsunami available. If you really wants to put a squeeze on opponent's fuel, could try that. Try and capture the property with some health infantry, at least force reaction. Allows them also to capture other properties while at it. Neo tank infantry. We may see the tsunami here. Pops the tsunami. A lot of low fuel now. A lot of stuff going down up here for Andy. Neo tank goes down. He has, of course, only one reinforcing Neo tank. He's going to be fighting against a Neo tank and a medium tank. This medium tank is probably going to fall back to a proper to get some healing. Stops the capture there. I think Andy's starting to disintegrate a little bit too much. Anti-air, Battlecopter tank. Ends turn of 184. Andy will start with just 85, so he's down by 100,000 in the field. Does have, of course, his day-to-day. Gets a good strike there. Pops the hyper repair. I don't know if that's going to be useful. I think he's just going to do one last hurrah before resigning at the current rate. Does get some good damage down south, that's for sure. Yep, that's what it was. I thought so. This is Grey saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay.